die or just, lose it, whatever I have. Geishas are a role model. The reason why they don't have a relaxed life is because they are role models to the younger sisters or the younger geisha that are coming up as well. Even though they are apprentices, they are trying to walk the walk, okay? They have to maintain high standards of etiquette in all aspects of their lives, and they lead by setting an example every single day, which I think that's what we're all trying to do in our lives. And if you're not, then you really got to do some soul searching. Okay. So of course that applies to me, because not just as a trainer, I will make a disclaimer that some, if not a lot of my beliefs may not be deemed role model worthy by a lot of people. I live in a conservative part of the Houston area. So I'm saying Houston area because I don't live in Houston anymore. I do live in a very a suburban / rural area, and I say that because the rural area is starting to become suburban because of planned urban development being moved further and further out here. But it's still a very, very conservative part of Texas. So given the area that I live in, I do recognize and I do realize that a lot of my beliefs and how I see life definitely clashes with the beliefs of those that are more conservative in their outlook on life. However, I do firmly believe that any person, regardless of their background, regardless of their religion, regardless of their belief systems, or anything that society places on us, every person should strive to work to leave this world a better place than you did when you entered it. So it's a constant battle, I say, for myself to make myself better every single day so that I can make it better for my daughter. Oh yes, I'm a single mother, by the way. To make it better for my daughter and to make it better, period. That is my, what I feel any person's role should be. Okay? Last but not least, and most importantly, geisha never stop training. And they still attend practice lessons once qualified. So even when they become leaders of their house, if they ever get to that level, or if they end up leaving and running their own house of geisha, they never stop training. And that's me too. I never stop learning. And this is what I love about having my Fit Tip clips. Not only am I constantly learning something so that I can relate it to you, lovely people, but also so that I'm constantly learning more too, so I can be a better trainer, so that I could be a better health coach and be a better nutritionist. So I'm constantly learning. There's always something to learn. And that's why I kind of, as much as I feel I can strive in my life being a trainer first and then an entertainer, I don't think I will ever be a full master, because I feel like master is representative or indicative of the fact that you have arrived, that you know everything, that you have done everything that needs to be done. And I don't think that's ever possible when it comes to training. I don't think that's possible, and that means training for anything. I don't think that's possible when it comes to being a singer. I don't think that's possible when it comes to being a dancer. I don't think that's possible when it comes to acting. I don't think that that is possible at being a personal trainer such as myself. I am always training. I am always learning something. And so I don't think I will ever fully be a master of that. There's that saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's very true, guys. Very, very true. Okay? That's kind of why we have the issues that we do with obesity. You stop walking, guess what? You're going to have issues with not just walking. You're going to have issues with your back. You're going to have issues with your hips, your knees, all that. So definitely can't stop doing what you're doing, even if you think that you have mastered it. Okay? So how did I get here? Why why am I on YouTube? Why was I on Facebook? Why was I doing the fit tip clips? I mean, why am I a trainer? How did I get here? Okay. I'm going to make this as short and sweet as possible because I have done it before, and god dog it gets shorter and shorter every single freaking time. All right. So I used to be a paralegal 3 years ago. That was the last time I was a paralegal. It was about 3 years ago. Okay. Coming up on that third year. Okay. The last law firm I worked for offered boot camp 2 times out of the week for free. Free, guys, for free. And so I'm like thinking in my head, why isn't everyone doing this? Why isn't everyone doing this? And of course, I would later, learn why everyone isn't doing it when it comes to us humans and when it comes to being fit and being healthy, the mental roadblocks and all that other stuff. But moving on. So, because for me, it wasn't no thing but a chicken wing for me to be active. Okay, I was active in high school. I did sports. I did cross country. I did track. I did basketball. I attempted to play football, but since I went to a private school, they illegally kept me from joining, unfortunately. But I was an active kid. That was not a big problem. So, of course, it's more of an excuse for me to be active. Up at this point, I, of course, gained the college 15 or the freshman 15 and then some, because I didn't go to school on an athletic scholarship. So I didn't stay moving. Okay. My eating habits never changed, and my eating habits were deplorable. Okay. They were terrible. Okay. And when you are young, you are left with that feeling of being invincible. Like you can do anything. And so my way of thinking was, hey, I can eat whatever the heck I want and burn it off like that. And that worked for a while until I stopped being as active as I was when I went to college. And then I had my kid. And that completely plummeted and changed up my metabolism like nobody's business. So I'm 5 feet. I'm a shorty. Last time I weighed myself around that time I was pretty stinking close to 200 pounds. And I was in a position where it was like, oh, that's so bad. But then at the same time, it wasn't so big of a priority to where it's like, oh gosh, I've got to do something about this. Luckily, I never hit rock bottom. I was not diagnosed with diabetes. I was never diagnosed with cancer or anything that was life-threatening. Thank goodness. But at that time, the only type of activity I was doing was running 3 miles every weekend, just Saturday, not Sunday, just Saturday, once a week, running up and down Brays Bayou. And for people that live in Houston, you know where that is, okay? Especially if you live on the southwest side, okay? So that's all that I did. My crappy eating habits were still there. So I was puzzled about why I never lost the weight, but at the same time, it just wasn't a priority to me until I started doing the boot camp 2 times out of the week. I got more active. Instead of just doing cardio, I was now doing strength training again. So I was doing push-ups, I was doing squats, I was doing core work. And then around the same time, I started thinking about the food that I ate, because it's like, ooh, now I have an opportunity to change my food, because that's what it sounds like I need to do too. Because this guy was not a group class instructor. He was an actual certified personal trainer. Okay. And so I started doing research, just my personality, just started doing research on food. And I started changing my food as well as being active and incorporating the strength training. I started drinking more water. I started eating more protein. I started decreasing the amount of food I was putting in my body, not huge meals. Now they were a lot more small and within range of what I should have been eating in the first place. And before you know it, over the course of a year, I lost 75 pounds. Yay. Okay. It wasn't just weight loss. It was a lifestyle change, a complete lifestyle change. Okay. And I decided to get my personal training certification, still continue being a paralegal, and attend law school. And I was just going to train on the side. Unfortunately, tough times hit the firm financially. And so they got rid of the boot camp program first. And then later on, a few months down the line, like right before Christmas happened, I got laid off. And I expected it. I saw it coming. I tried to find a job. It just didn't happen for me. And so what I decided to do was, since I already got my personal training certification at the time, I decided to go train at a mom and pop local gym at the suburban town that I lived near at the time, until I got picked up by another gym. That never happened. That never quite panned out. Why? Because I ended up falling in love with training, and I still love training to this day. I still got to check myself, because it's like, I got to ask, because the going sometimes gets tough, and it's like, do I still want to train at the end of the day? Yes, I still want to train at the end of the day. There's nothing like this job, okay? There's other career paths that I've had that I felt I had a passion for, and I guess it's just, I've never been in a position where it's like, where I've asked myself, hey, do I still want to do this? And this one, because I keep asking myself, just because I want to make sure I do a check and make sure that I'm not leaving anybody in the lurch, I always ask myself, and every single time, it's always been consistent, never fails. I want to train. And I want to entertain too. But that's just to a smaller degree. Okay? I can still entertain when I train too. So, hey. So, I ended up transferring shortly thereafter to a small chain gym, not a big one like 24 Hours or Planet Fitness or anything like that. It didn't last as long as I had hoped. It's a long story that I may or may not talk about, because I'm pretty much just over it. Based on what I experienced, I ended up going into business for myself. And so here I am right now. So yay. In addition to me creating my own business where I do the one-on-one personal training, I later on decided to partner with a phenomenal fitness company that also believes in impacting the health and fitness of as many lives as possible, okay? So we do the group training, y'all, okay? And I've got that covered, okay, with Camp Gladiator, otherwise known as CG. What? Whoop, whoop, okay? So if you still feel that you do better with one-on-one personal training, hey, that's when you come to me, all right? There we go, all right? So if you want to do the group training, you want to feel that sense of community, which you will totally get, hey, you know you can still come to me too, because I can direct you in the right direction, okay? But that's pretty much everything in a nutshell, guys. I mean, we're gonna get started, okay? Get ready, peeps, because I'm getting ready to talk to you about all the things in health and fitness, okay? Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Check you later.